Hi again, this is your astrologer Kira, and I will give you a 2020 overview, and I will do it in a short time because I'm not sure about my battery. But in a short time, you will get all the major things going on, and I know you won't feel good about it as well as I am. So, the next 2020 begins with the total solar eclipse happening right now in the next 3 days on the 26th of December. Total solar eclipse which will mark the whole next year and the next 5 years in total, and you will be enough of them, and so on and so on. If you want to know more about this total solar eclipse, I encourage you to watch my video just about it. Right now we'll go through some short overview of the next coming year. So the month of January will begin with the planet Venus in the sign of Aquarius, and we will all feel the strong need to be different yet to belong to the same group of people. Women will tend to act in a variable way. They will talk too much. They could be a bit eccentric or free too much. You won't know what is a woman, what is a man, and so on. And people will tend to parade with their electronic gadgets and so on. Although Venus will make a bad aspect to the planet Uranus, those gadgets will surely go wrong at some point. And on the other side, the planet Mars. Just a moment, just a moment, just a moment. The planet Mars will transit through the sign of Sagittarius, and we will all feel the great urge to travel somewhere, to go outside and do the sporting activities, to move, to free our bodies and to free our minds in some noble ways. Nothing extreme. In general terms, the first 4 months of 2020 will be very dynamic. You might feel uplifted and ready for something new, but in the end, you will feel very tiring, overwhelming with events, and you will have enough of it. But the year will advance further. Many people will feel confused and won't understand what's happening, but many events will happen because the last year, 2019 and even 2018, were marked with one very doom and gloom aspect between Saturn and the south node of the moon Ketu, and people were all depressed, lost, confused, down, and so on, cursed, because this is the aspect of the curse, and this is the aspect of the black magic. Now it will be done, but it will be over. New things will happen, but not all of them will be so positive. But you will have the feeling like you are moving forward at last with your life or anything you do. So the planet Saturn will visit the sign of Aquarius for a shorter time, and this will happen by the end of March, I think 22nd March and so on. Don't let me check this right now. And this will make us all not to think in terms of just me, my. No, we will think my people, my tribe, my country, my nation, my race, because this me will grow into us, and we will fight together, we will move together, we will have this feeling of togetherness all of a sudden. But at the same time, at the end of March, Mars will approach this Saturn, and no, at the end of March, Mars will be together with Jupiter and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, and this will show some powerful tectonic movements of the Earth, like earthquakes, hurricanes, volcano eruptions, and so on, especially in the mountain areas, Far East countries, southern parts of North America, and so on, and even some military conflicts in because I predicted the Great World happening starting around February, March or April of the next year. It should last in total for the 3.5 years, but it will be strong, it will be powerful, and so on. If this war doesn't happen, uh, but I think it will, then this will mean huge human losses when it comes to natural disasters. I hope we'll have at least victims as we can, but you have to be very afraid and you have to be very cautious and so on. By the beginning of the April, again, some negative effects due to Mars and Saturn together in Aquarius, forming a square aspect toward the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus. For those who don't know, I'm doing the Western astrology prediction, although I'm referring to some points from Vedic astrology. So you don't mix the signs and so on. And Mars and Saturn together in Aquarius in a square with Uranus in Taurus means the groups of very poor, very oppressed people fighting together against someone who is crazy rich and crazy crazy in the head. And this is the picture of a man, younger and older, suffering, rebels and something like that, suffering and getting against, rising against the political systems, rebelling, going through some extremely hard times, revolutions and war again. What can I say? This is what I say. Oh, at the same time, we could announce some big air crashes, problems with electricity, crashing the power plants, and so on, because Uranus is involved in this, including earthquake, volcano explosions, and so on and so on. I hate this spring and summer. Around the middle of May, planet Venus will turn retrograde in the sign of Gemini and make us all revalue. Venus is not per se the mark of a person returning to you regarding your love affairs and so on. This is more seen through Mars retrograde, but the Venus retrograde is turning to your own values and proper things, proper relationships, everything proper. And since she will be retrograde in the sign Gemini, it will be too much talking about it, talking, proving, blah, 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 blah. Nothing significant will take place. Why? Because right on the 1st June, the Mars will be together in the sign of Pisces, forming a square aspect over this Venus. And if I want to talk with you and I want our relationship to look like this, and this, he will say yes, but he will cheat me and he will lie to me and he's a scumbag, so no, no, no. Many relationships will fall apart and she will finally see the truth, or one of the partners will finally see the truth. I'm referring to Venus as a woman and Mars as a man because this is the usual picture, but it can work any way around. At the same time, please, around the 1st June, few weeks before and few weeks after, do not take the airplane, travel anywhere, because airplanes will be falling down, 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 down. And if we are in the war, this will mean huge losses for aviations and so on. Okay, and the summer total eclipse, oh, another doomsday, will happen on the 21st of June, finally closing Cancer, Capricorn themes, and the nodes, moon nodes, will move into Gemini and Sagittarius at last. And for the next 18 months, they will bring huge changes to those people. And this eclipse will start in the central and move away through the eastern parts of Africa, involving again southeast parts of Arabia and northern India, including Tibet, China, and Japan. The line will go like this, so you know how the countries are gathered there. The major factor going on in this eclipse, I don't know if anyone is in apartment, but it doesn't matter. The major factor here going on is the fact that in Vedic astrology, according to Vedic astrology, this eclipse will take place in Ardra Nakshatra, the warrior nakshatra, the war again, the go. We just thought that everything is over, but no, it will start again and again. It will never end, but it will 3.5 years later. and so on. Ardra means the god Shiva's teardrop. It's the sign of the great um, mess in the sky, the storm. The teardrop and the storm are the symbols for this area in zodiac, and this area is also related to huge transformations, being physical or psychological, it doesn't matter, and wars. In any case, we who are not important political figures won't be affected so much, but having in mind that this eclipse will take place in the sign of Cancer, this means that people will suffer, people like humanity, people like nations, like tribes, like families, and so on. And the things which shocked me the most is that the heart of this eclipse will happen in Tibet, in Potala, in their major point of Buddhism and so on, and this could announce the death of Kundun, of our Dalai Lama, or this could announce the total destruction of Tibet or their cities, or dropping some nuclear bombs there, and some horrible things like that. And the consequences won't be felt right away when it happens on 21st of June, but it will be felt through the next few years. So what can I say? Tibet is the country I love very much, and I love some parts of Buddhism, but life is life, that is that, and so on. Okay, and when we just thought that this all action is finally over, the planet Mars will enter into the sign of Aries, where it's very strong but very stupid and brisk and so on by the end of June. And it will turn retrograde around the beginning of September. It will become direct around the middle of November. And this will mean some great military movements, couples getting back together. Yeah, I can understand that if the war is going on outside, that I cannot quarrel with him about where he throws his dirty socks, and he won't quarrel about me. Why am I wasting so much money on my makeup and blah 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 and blah blah blah. We will be afraid. He will be my hero. I will be the damsel in distress who's waiting for him to come back from war, and so on and so on. You know the stories and so on. But this will be very tiring, very exhausting times, and people in the armies will feel very overwhelmed with events. And if in the beginning everyone was so thrilled with ideas of fighting in war, now many people will understand why wars are so bad. Many people will become crippled. There will be widows and orphan children and so on. This is the consequence of every war, so be aware of that. And during its stay in the sign of Aries, Mars will form the square aspect with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and this will mean that this Mars is one very, very stupid guy. People in the armies will act in very stupid ways, they will make stupid mistakes and so on, and some political figures will have huge problems regarding that. Some political figures will try to make peace with everyone, but this will be pretty hard. So, extremely hard seasons for the Capricorns, Aquarius, and Aries. We all others will suffer some consequences. I even wouldn't want to look at the a winter eclipse of 2020 because I had it enough, and I hope you've got the general overview of the next year. It won't be so depressed and so cursed like the last one, 2019. It will be movable, dynamic, but it will be hard and it will be bloody, and we will all be very tired, but some things will change, and this is what is life all about. So, what can I say? This is it from me. Love you all, and I hope you will get the best from the worst times. Love you. Bye. This was your astrologer Kira. Bye.